What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I'm your host, Jimmy Smith, and I hope you're all having yourselves a great weekend. It is Saturday, and we're here a little after 5 o'clock, and as I told you, we're talking a little bit of NFC East tonight. So we're going to talk about all four of these teams, take a look at what they did this offseason, who they added, who they lost, whether that is free agency, trade, drafting, all that great stuff. Then we'll take a look at the cap space each team has their, position heading into this season. So, that later on in about a month or so, we'll see the training camp, who they add in the preseason, all that stuff. We'll take a look at all that. Then we'll do the NFC East breakdown where I'll bring along the depth charts for both teams, all that stuff. But here we're going to take a gander at all four of these teams. And we're just going to go through the list in order of how they were in the division. So at the bottom, we're going to start it off with Martin Mayhew and the Washington Commanders. So appreciate you all. If you have any questions, comments throughout this, let's get this thing going. My man William in here. Let's go. Appreciate you, dude. Doing well. Hope you and the family are well. Justin, my man. Let's go. Yo, I'm ready for you guys. And the storms of Narnia are out there. It is wild times right now. But let's go. Hopefully it doesn't kick me off. I apologize if it's lagging or anything like that, but crazy out there. So I hope you're all staying safe, having a great weekend so far. But let's start it off. We're going to talk about the Commanders, what they've done this offseason. And look, they had a decent draft here, getting Jartavius Martin and Emmanuel Forbes in the secondary, I thought were some good additions. And so were Stromberg and Braden Daniels. So they had a good draft. They added Jacoby Brissett with Sam Howell, possibly leading the way. He'll be battling it out with him this offseason. So a good addition there. But they added Wiley and Gates and then Cody Barton there. So some key losses you can see. Holcomb and McCain going to other teams. And then a bunch of guys that haven't gone anywhere else yet, but were big parts of the team other than Cam Dantzler, who was a key addition. Now he is a key loss. So they already cut him. And then you have Heineke going to the Falcons, Schweitzer to the Jets, and then Wes Martin to the Browns. So you can see all of the things that Washington has done, trying to improve this offseason the best they can. And for me, a good draft where Martin and Forbes could be starting in that secondary right away. And that defense needed an upgrade there. They've got the front, we all know. They've got Sweat and Young and Payne and Allen. So they're obviously pretty scary up front. Cody Barton will probably start for them, losing Holcomb there. So, decent additions there that did what they could. And, for the Commanders here, looking at now their cap space, they still have $11.5 million. So if they want to go somewhere and add, they can. You could see here the top 10 cap hits for their team and how they've spread their money out. That's a huge one for Jonathan Allen there. My Lord. But Deron Payne only $8.61 million there near the bottom. He is ninth. Now, they spread that money out, trying to, give him a longer term contract. They would love to keep both those guys. They're monsters in the middle there. So you see Montez Sweat, Chase Young, their whole line is up there. So, yeah, you want to spend your money wisely. Curtis Samuel, maybe not so much. You see he's their second. Charles Leno getting paid $12.5 million. The cap space hit at least. So, I think, if he improves his game, sure. But Scary Terry down there, you're making $11 million, and you've got Logan Thomas. But this Washington team, Sam Howell and Brissett going to be battling it out. You've got Brian Robinson and Antonio Gibson, but Scary Terry with Samuel, with Dotson, they've got some good weapons there. So for me, Washington, they added the places they need to. Most importantly, that secondary. And they got a replacement at linebacker. They still have one of the best defensive lines. And, the offense, Andrew Wiley, okay, sure. He came from Kansas City, Super Bowl winning team. But, one of the worst in the league, giving up, him and the other tackle were bottom 4, both of them in pass rush win percentage. We talked about that. If that field wasn't wet, our line would have been able to feast. But it is what it is. I think that, hey, we'll get to find out when we play Washington. So that was the look at Washington. How are you feeling about them? Do you think that they're going to be at the bottom again this season, or do you think they can work their way up? Let's take a look at the team above them. That is the New York Giants. You can see Joe Schoen here. And look, to me, I don't think the Giants or Commanders are really going to be fighting for the NFC East, but we'll see how they look this offseason. My man Twisted in here. Drew, my dude. Is getting me. Oh, I think I'm back. I apologize for that. And I'm telling you, that's probably going to happen. So I apologize. But look, man, there is a storm out there and it is a brewing. Hopefully, you guys are all safe out there. But yeah, I think they're going to be at the bottom again. But the Giants, and the Commanders will be battling it out for that bottom spot, is my opinion. But let's take a look at what the Giants did here. And maybe they could fight for the NFC East. But, well, let's decide here. Now, Deonte Banks, I thought, a decent addition there for them. I really liked him in this draft. So regardless of where you're taking people, all that stuff, you still got a great player. And Jalen Hyatt, I'm hearing he's not having a great offseason, but they got a loaded wide receiver room anyway. You got Hodgins back, Slayton, Paris Campbell was brought in, Shepard and Wan'Dale Robinson's there. So, hey, we'll see what that draft pick becomes there for him. But John Michael Schmidt's probably going to start right away for them at center. So that's a good pick for them there at least. But beyond that, I thought, obviously Banks a starter there as well, but an okay draft for them. You see that they lost, some of their linemen there, lost a couple of the back end receivers, lost a safety and D lineman. Those are the key losses. There were some other pieces they lost, but those are the most important. But they did make some good additions here. So Jamison Crowder in there. You've got Darren Waller. Let's go. Right? Yeah. Okay. Now, this dude hasn't been healthy for a while, but when healthy, he is one of the better tight ends in the game. And he was always really fun to watch for me, but clearly he needs to stay healthy. But that's a good addition for them. It really is. So is Crowder and Campbell. So trying to improve the weapons for Daniel Jones, see what he can do. You've got Saquon Barkley there. So I like their tight end room as well. I think adding Waller and having Bellinger brought in last year, I thought, those two are going to be pretty good together. So for me, the Giants could, if they figure things out, they've got a good coach here and their defense is actually kind of slept on. And you see, they added Ashawn Robinson, Rakeem Nunez-Roches, Bobby Okereke, Bobby McCain, Amani Oruwariye. I think some pretty good additions to the defense there. So look, don't sleep on the Giants. I'm just busting balls here, but they do, always have good battles with us. And, the Giants, if they want to improve anywhere, it's probably not going to come in the way of signing or doing much because they got $3.8 million in cap space. You can see their top 10 cap hits here. And look, holy shenanigans, $32.26 million cap hit for Leonard Williams. My God, 21.75 for Daniel Jones. Torrey Jackson, 19.0. Who? Your tackle, 10.2. Okay. So Giants getting a little wild there with the cap space. So Joe Shern maybe try to figure some things out there, some restructuring, extending things that Howie Roseman usually does. And I'm not sure exactly where it is in Leonard Williams' contract, why he wasn't able to do that. Whatever. I'm just busting balls here, but that's pretty wild. And Tyrod Taylor, $6.9 million cap hit. All right, backup quarterback. Sometimes they're in that $5-6 million range. And what's crazy is you'll see the Eagles, what they were able to do. Anyways, actually, Mariota won't be on the list because he's under $2 million. So wild. Howie Roseman's different. We all know that. But that's what the Giants look like. And for me, they've added the pieces they needed to. And I think they are a talented team. I think it'll be more them battling it out with the Cowboys than it will be them with the Commanders. I think that the Giants definitely can improve. They've got a good coach again. So don't sleep on the Giants. But we're going to talk about, how I feel about that at the top there. But I think that, more fighting with, the Cowboys for that second place rather than that fourth spot with the Commanders, right? So that's, hey, some good improvements by them, but Daniel Jones ultimately has to, I guess, figure things out. And he's decent, man. But, oh, my God, if a Giants fan were to be watching this, they would, how dare you? He is elite. And it's okay. Sure. I'm sure he is. I just haven't seen it myself yet. So we'll see how he figures things out. But they got him all the weapons he needs. Now, this scary son of a, oh, God. But we're going to get into the Cowboys here. Yo, my dude, appreciate you tuning in. And happy you could tune in live as well. We're going through talking about the NFC East, just getting to know what they've done this offseason, talking about that cap space. So appreciate you taking the time, my dude. Hope you're having a great weekend. And it is a great piece for them. It is definitely a great addition. So as I said, I was busting balls. I'm always going to do that to the NFC East, but I'm always going to keep it real with you also. And they made some good additions. I think that they will be better than last year. 9-10 wins, still in that category, but I think they can do better. And we'll find out, but we've all got tough schedules in the NFC East here. And look, I think that they're always battles to the death, right? These NFC East matchups. But last year, all 4 teams almost made it to the playoffs there. Washington failed ultimately in the end. But man, it's a long way since NFC least, right? So happy to see that there's good competition. You want to be at your best, and hoping we can sweep their asses, right? But appreciate you tuning in, my man GG. Let's go. Appreciate you, dude. And love to see the love being shared. Let's go. But I appreciate you. Jerry is a very scary man. But let's take a look at, we all know he's the one running the ship, whether they want to call anybody anything else, that's fine. But you could see the Cowboys here. Mozzie Smith, if you ask a Cowboys fan before the draft who Mozzie Smith was, they say not a good pick, wouldn't be a good pick. But if you ask him now, the greatest pick they have ever made. Then they go with Schoonmaker there with their next pick. I'm not sure if I would have taken him there, but I do like him. But Damarian Overshown, I've talked about him as well pre-draft. And again, maybe more of a reach at both of those guys. Okay, but I think they're decent players, so not going to get caught up in that. But they had an okay draft there. Obviously, possibly losing Zeke there. We'll see if they bring him back. But, getting Deuce Vaughn, you do have Tony Pollard. But look, having multiple backs is a good idea in this league. We'll see. Tony Pollard hopefully stays healthy this season. But you can see losing Zeke, losing McGovern, Schultz, Hilton, Brown, Gifford, and Watkins. So nothing too crazy. Zeke obviously was losing his job to Pollard, but still a big loss for them. The dude still is talented. McGovern, a big loss. Schultz, big loss. The rest, man. Now, they added Brandon Cooks. They added Stephon Gilmore. And I think Banagu, even as a depth piece, as an edge rusher, that's a good piece for them too. But regardless, they made 2 good additions there with Cooks and Gilmore. Jones, we'll see what he does. He couldn't even find the field with Kansas City there. But look, they have talented young guys. Regardless, maybe he fits in here. Anyways, you see Cooks, Gilmore, great additions to this Cowboys team. And obviously, they'll be starting off the bat. Mozzie Smith will be starting. So they added starting pieces, and their defense was pretty good last year. At the end, kind of lacked in the sacks and, struggled in certain departments. But I think they made the right pick there with Mozzie Smith. I think he is talented. So I'm just, busting balls there. But he is a great addition as a nose tackle, a team that likes to run multiple schemes like we do. Now, completely different beast of a defense that they run, but just saying they like to use a nose tackle. Mozzie Smith is a good pick for them. And Schoonmaker goes well with Jake Ferguson, who they have there. And, look, I think Schultz is a big loss, though, so we'll see how those guys do. But their line's still pretty good, and they've got receivers. They've got Dak, Pollard. For me, they didn't really make anything that's going to move the charts. Like Brandon Cooks is a really good addition for them. They needed that. So pairing him with CeeDee Lamb is a great addition. And, losing Noah Brown isn't a big deal. You've got Gallup. You hope that he stays healthy. They've got Jalen Tolbert, hoping he can find something. Turpin and Fajoku. So they've got some receivers there. They kind of aren't moving the needle either way for me. It's not like they're going to be worse. I think the Giants can give them a run for their money for second. I think, again, you could see those top 3 teams making it to the playoffs here. So I think for me, the Cowboys, they, were a good team last season. And let's take a look at their remaining cap space here. They've got $20.4 million. So if they want to add somebody else, they want to make a trade after they see what they've got in training camp, they want to do whatever, they can definitely do that. Now, their quarterback has a $26.8 million cap hit. DeMarcus Lawrence, 17.1. Whew. Martin, 11. Gilmore, 10.9. Pollard, 10. So nothing too egregious here. I think they're doing all right with their money. Dorrance Armstrong, a backup DN. That's okay. But we're also, the Eagles playing Brandon Graham. I think that's a much better player than Dorrance Armstrong. But you see Gallup, Cooks here. So some interesting contracts. But they've got a lot of money. That's what's important here. And if they want to go out and bring somebody in, they can definitely do that with $20.4 million. So a lot of money to spend there for the Cowboys. But to me, I'm not really afraid of any of these teams. All three of these teams, they did good. I think this offseason, I think each one of them can improve from last season. I truly do. But for me, I think the Philadelphia Eagles are going to improve. So therefore, these other teams, not going to happen, dude. So Palpatine, yes, he is that scary mother. Oh, he kills me. But Sixers really, I'm hoping they do. Seem is a huge Eagles fan. Talked to him at the Combine. Love it. Yo, and we're all big Eagles fans here, and we're going to keep getting excited this offseason for this Eagles team. So let's take a little quick recap at this team. D-Hop did not sign anywhere yet. Let's go Birds. But let's take a look at this Eagles team, what we've done so far. So people talk about, oh my God, they lost all these players. Miles Sanders, Malu, Hargrave, White, Edwards, Epps, Gardner-Johnson. That's great. Look at the draft. You can see here, Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith in the first round. Steen and Brown. Oh, well, yeah. Kaylee Ringo, McKee, and then Ojomo. I love the draft. Very excited about it. But then you see the key additions here. You trade for DeAndre Swift during the draft. You got Rashad Penny, Olamide, Zacchaeus, Dan Arnold, Marcus Mariota, then Street, Morrow, Williams, Edmonds, and Evans. Holy. And if you're looking for a breakdown of this entire offseason for the Eagles, go check it out on all of those playlists, all kinds of breakdowns of this Eagles team. But just a quick recap of what went down. But look at all that we've added in the draft and just with signings and trades. So, yeah, we lost some players, but we knew we were going to lose most of those guys. And, hey, we're building something special here. So I'm very excited about it. And if the Eagles want to add, they don't feel comfortable after training camp at safety or maybe linebacker or wherever it may be, you can see here that the Eagles have $13.85 million in cap space. So how we working his effing magic? You can see here, nobody over $15 million. So let's effing go. So, you know, how he likes to restructure and extend and do all that stuff. So, man, a fantastic job. You can see just how the money's spaced out. And if you missed any of this, go to the playlists on YouTube and you can find Show Me the Money. And you'll see the cap space broken down. I have the entire 51 players that are affecting the cap right now broken down for the Eagles. But those are just the top 10 for each team. Wanted to give you a feel for, you know, what they're doing. Now, for the Eagles, I think, you know, with the change at offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator, I think that's going to be an improvement. You're going to build on the same exact offense and defense, but with new flavor. That's essentially what's happening. So you just get better. Hurts is going to get better. This line is still going to be the best in the league. This running back room is going to be intense. We're going to be talking about that. Oh, hell yeah. In the next couple of days here. And talking about these receivers. Holy our tight end. Oh, yeah. This defense, I'm excited about all of it. So to me, the Eagles are still the top dog, and we will win the NFC East back-to-back for the first time since, 2002, something crazy like that. So I'm all about it. All about it. So let's effing go indeed. But ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have for you this evening. If you have any thoughts, any questions, anything like that, please feel free to let me know. He will definitely sign. Nothing to worry about there. Let's go, baby. This team, we are about to whoop some ass. So $6 million hit on the cap space is incredibly low. Yo, man, it's amazing how he did. Go check that video out of his contract broken down, how we're perfectly fine the next few years. All of that stuff is already built in to be perfectly fine. So the Eagles, to me, are number one. But I'd love to hear your thoughts, what you think, who's going to be number one this year, how is it going to be ranked out, whatever's on your mind. But I appreciate each and every one of you that took the time tonight, and appreciate you hitting that like button, subscribing, all that stuff you're doing to support the channel. Cannot thank you enough. If you need anything, please feel free to reach on out. The Eagles will be doing that when we win the Super Bowl this year and continue to build this dynasty. Let's effing go, speaking it into existence. So I appreciate each and every one of you one more time. But until next time, I am Jimmy Smith, and this is On the Road to Victory. You all stay safe out there. Have yourselves a great weekend. And as always, say it with me now, Cowboys!